Hey guys, it's Chloe, and today I am here with a brand new video. First of all, happy Halloween. I am in costume, and if you can't tell who I am, just take a closer look at my necklace. Can you see it? Do you know what it is? If you know who my costume is, or who I am, you should leave it in the comments below. So yes, it is Halloween, I am in costume, and I am Morty from Rick and Morty. I am half of my couple's costume that I did with Will. He was Rick. That's why it looks like I have no hair, is because when I'm in this costume I pull my hair into a bun, because Morty doesn't have long hair and now it looks like I'm bald. But we're just gonna go with it for the sake of the video because it's Halloween. Today I'm here with my October wrap-up, and I read a total of 4 books in the month of October, which was the entirety of my TBR. And then we're going to talk about some books that I'm currently reading that I will finish before the end of the month, because there are still about 3 days left in October. So the first book I completed was Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews. This was my unwrapped book for October. I was very intrigued by this book, and I actually ended up starting it on the last day of September and finishing it like 2 days later. I ended up giving it 1.5 stars because I found this book to be so strange and just boring. I talked about it in my reading vlog. A lot of it is praised, or a lot of this book's praise is it's the funniest book about death, and I just thought it was so boring and strange. Like, I understand how it can be funny to some people, but I didn't find it very funny at all. The only reason I kept reading was because it was so fast-paced, and for a while I was going to give it a 2, and then it just did not deserve a 2, and I ended up giving it a 1.5. Very bored with it. Most likely unhauling this, if I'm being honest. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this book. And it did not count for a letter for the A to Z challenge. Next book I completed is Once Upon a Dream by Liz Braswell. This is the second book in the Twisted Tales series, and this is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty. This was one of the books that my dog picked for me to read in the month of October. I was very, very excited to get to this. I did get it for my birthday, so it was a fairly recent haul. And it was very quick for me to pick it up. Basically, the whole point of this is what if Sleeping Beauty never woke up. I was a little bit confused in the beginning before I understood what was actually happening. That was right at the beginning. Because I was slightly confused on how it was executed, I did bump it down 0.5 star. So I gave this book 4.5 stars. Other than that, I really enjoyed it. I feel like there aren't a lot of Sleeping Beauty retellings that I know of, at least. I have read one before, which was Spindlefire by Lexa Hillier. I have not read the sequel to that yet, but this book was very well done. I am very impressed with this series. I really enjoy it. I'm excited to continue on with this series. The next one I think is Beauty and the Beast retelling, so I'm very excited to see how this keeps going. 4.5 stars, and it did not count for a letter for the A to Z challenge. So this next small portion of the video is being sponsored by Elle Class. And the next book that I completed in October was The Monster Upstairs by Elle Class. This is the second book in a series based in St. Augustine. They are novellas. The first one was The Vampires Next Door. I read that last year. And then this I decided to pick up because it was it's Halloween, so I wanted to have like a spooky book or a creepy book, something like that. My dog did pick this out of the 2 options. I did write a review for this book. I posted it on Goodreads, Amazon, and Google Play. All thoughts and opinions on this story are my own. All thoughts and opinions on this book are honest and my own. I gave this 3 stars. I think, and I talked about this in the review that I wrote, I think it's mostly because there was too much time between reading the first 2. But I did find myself a little confused with this book, mostly because it changes perspectives or characters that we're following, but it's not labeled on the chapters, so I would often find myself thinking I'm reading about one character when in reality it's a different character. And that might have been my fault if I wasn't paying close enough attention, but I was getting confused by that. I think it would be helpful if the chapters were titled with the character that we're following. But again, that's a personal preference on my part. I also kind of found myself confused with the sister plot a little bit, and if you read this book, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You might not get confused by the sister plot like I did, but I am still unsure how many sisters there actually are, without spoiling this book. This is the first book in the series. You might recognize it because I did a review on it last year. I do not think this is a bad series. There is a 3rd book in the series as well, and I believe there will be more. I don't think this is a bad series. I just don't think the series could be for me. I'm not really sure. I actually really enjoyed the first book. I think I gave it 4 stars when I read it last year. I think it's just, it was too much distance for me from this series. If I hadn't distanced myself, I probably would have enjoyed it more, or if I had read them back to back, I would have enjoyed it more, but I can't read them back to back just because it's not necessarily a genre that I continuously read in my life. Overall, I don't think it's a bad series. I think if you're into this type of paranormal, supernatural series genre, then you could definitely enjoy this book. Again, I really enjoyed the first one. The second one just wasn't my cup of tea. So again, I gave this 3 stars, and it did not count for a letter for the A to Z challenge. The next book I read was the Once Upon a Read Along book of the month for October, and that is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. This is the sequel to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, one of my absolute favorite books. And I loved this book so much. It didn't go in the direction that I thought it was going to go in, but it was still a really good book overall, and I enjoyed following Felicity. I did do a live show for this book on Sunday, so I'm going to link that in the description below if you want to hear more of my thoughts and opinions on it. I finished this book the day of the live show. I give it 5 stars, and I really, really enjoyed it. So if you want to know more of my thoughts, go check out the live show link down below. Really quickly, we're going to go into books that I'm currently reading, but am very confident that I will finish in the next 3 days of October, the last 3 days of October. This first one I've been listening to for about 2 weeks, and it is War Storm by Victoria Aveyard, the final book in the Red Queen series. I have a lot of mixed feelings on this series. I feel like it's just gone downhill for me. Like, Red Queen was really great. Second one was okay. Third one was okay. This one is going a little bit better than King's Cage did. I'm at the point where I'm just like, I'm so close to the series being done. I may as well just finish it, especially since this is the last book. I've been listening to the audiobook on my commute for the past 2 weeks, and at the time of this being filmed, I have 160 pages left, so I'm very confident that I'll get this done in the next 3 days because I listen to about 2 hours a day. I have about 5 hours left in the whole audiobook. I'll leave it right here if I complete this book before the end of October. And the other book that I am currently reading is P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. This is a physical book that I'm reading. I had to put it down so I could read Lady's Guide. This I'm very, very confident I will get done. I have just over 100 pages left. And I did a ton of reading today already, so I definitely want to continue reading this because I'm in love with this series. Definitely confident that I'm going to get it done before the end of October. So guys, that is all I have for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please in the comments below leave an emoji so I know that you watched this video. And as always, if you'd like to check out my vlog channel, Cloessence, it's linked in the description below. And if you'd like to see here, please go ahead and click subscribe. I post new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, so click subscribe so you can be updated for when I post those. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!
In the darkness, I don't feel so cold.